It's time for our 2020 roundup with the Roundtable. So let's go on the record. 2020 will be forever remembered as a monumental challenges that it brought all of us. A pandemic that upended our way of life. A presidential election that challenged the foundation of our republic. And in the end, a vaccine that promised hope for the future. We'll tackle it all. Let's go on the record.
From WCVB Channel 5, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill. Today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Welcome to OTR. Happy New Year. I'm Ed Harding, along with News Center 5's political reporter Janet Wu. 2021 is here now, and it is fair to say that 2020 will be the year that we would not soon forget, but we'd like to. In fact, it's a year that's kept us physically apart because of the pandemic, and again, our social distancing will continue into 2021, as you can see. In the newsroom, we are joined this morning by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. We're here to talk about where we have been and where we are headed. But first, guys, Happy New Year. It's great to start the year with you guys.
Happy New Year. I have been thrilled to spend last year with all of you, but boy, am I glad it's over.
Oh, amen.
So let's get to it. Who gets the first prize for best handling the pandemic politically and why? I'm going to give you three categories. Give me one for each. Internationally, nationally, and locally. Marianne, start with you.
Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, internationally. She crushed COVID in her country. The stadiums are full, the schools are open, they're celebrating Christmas last week like we would any other year. And they sent their citizens $600 a week, not just a one-time $600 check, and free vaccinations for everyone, including every citizen of every country who surrounds them. She wins.
Nationally?
Oh, nationally, no question, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who never betrayed his trust, never betrayed the facts, never betrayed science, and stood up to Donald Trump's bullying. Even when he got sidelined, he went on every single media platform, anytime, anywhere, day and night, to tell the American people the truth about COVID, and he succeeded in doing that.
And your local nomination?
Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, no question about it. He has handled the COVID crisis better than anyone. He's been pitch perfect all along in terms of being aggressive or dialing it back. He's really the one who's led Charlie Baker in many respects on this. He's done it without fear or favor. He needs to finish the job just like that. Hard to argue he didn't do a terrific job.
Okay, Rob, you're up. Internationally, nationally, and locally.
So I'm a little different, I think, in terms of elected or appointed officials. I'm going to talk about entities. And internationally, if you look at the larger countries, Japan and South Korea have led the way. They have a larger populations, more densely populated, yet they have death rates, death counts in the dozens, not the thousands like the United States and parts of Europe. Nationally, I'm actually going to go with a state, which is the state of Maine, a smaller state, but they've handled it really well from the top down with county by county coordination. That was done in a really a good way with limited tax on hospitals. Finally, locally, I give it to the Archdiocese of Boston. They made the call to open their schools in September, 5 days a week, in person. Those kids are getting educated. Many public schools students have been left out. It could have been done better. The Archdiocese of Boston led the way.
So let's move on to the presidential election. If not for the pandemic, Marianne, let me start with you. Would Donald Trump be president? Would he be sworn in on January 20th of this year as president again? Would he have won?
When you think about the fact that Donald Trump won by a margin of 81,000 votes over 4 states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Georgia, 20,000 votes a state, it's Donald Trump for a second term. So this election was a referendum on Donald Trump and his handling of COVID. He failed badly. That is the only reason he didn't get reelected.
Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I look at Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, razor-thin margins for Biden. Those were all states where COVID was really spiking in late September, October. I think swing voters there lost confidence in Trump that he could handle the pandemic. Maybe he had done okay, but not well so far. But looking at it extending into the late fall and next year, they said, no way, I want somebody more competent in charge.
This is a question that's more about 2021, our current year, as opposed to last year. But should there be a vaccine mandate for most people? Obviously, those with certain medical issues should be exempt. But I'm talking about the vast majority of folks here. Rob?
Well, I think no, because it's important to have for people to have confidence in vaccines and to opt into it. But I think realistically, that slack will be picked up by schools and employers who will mandate it. and should mandate it. And also in terms of way of life, if you're going to want to have mobility, you're probably going to have to be vaccinated to get on an airline, a train, or a bus. And that makes sense. So I think that'll lead the way, not a national mandate.
Marianne, is Rob right about that?
Yeah, I agree with everything he said. I think it's going to become a necessity to get into office buildings, your employer, get on a plane, just like you have to show a driver's license or some kind of ID. So I think that's going to take care of it.
And the next item is, and this is the inevitable, right? Predictions of how things will permanently change as a result of this year, going on a year-long hiatus from our routine lives. For example, Marianne, let me start with you. Will we ever go to the movies again?
I'm sure we will, but drive-in movies made a comeback. I think the whole way we conduct our everyday lives, from how we live to how we work, will change forever. And I think that will become more individual choices while people realize that they can have a more balanced life, still get a lot of work done, but still spend more time with their families, order online, have things delivered. But what has been fascinating to me is that it took a pandemic for us to reimagine cities and towns, add bike lanes, change transit lanes, all those parklets and the outdoor restaurants, and even this winter where they're trying to make it more appealing for people to go outdoors. I think that's the real change in life and culture. I'm sorry it took a pandemic to do it.
And our snow days for kids at school, I know that it's like 50-50-ish in the Commonwealth, but are they, in a year or so, are they gone?
You gotta throw the kids a snow day once in a while. I mean, come on. Yes, I can do it online, but you gotta go sledding and have a snowball fight.
Keep the snow days.
Keep the snow days. All right. Well, Rob, what do you think? I mean, it's inevitable that we're going to evolve to something. We're not going to go back to where it was.
Well, I actually think that cities are going to have a problem because many people are going to opt not to live there or to drive in. They commute on a train. They carpool in. They don't want to do that. They don't want to be in confined places. But at the same time, I think that the sports and entertainment, professional sports and entertainment industries will have the biggest impact. I think few of us can imagine going to a concert, to a 60,000-foot football stadium right now, and maybe in the near future.
So I have to ask, do you think Zoom is permanently in our lives and empty office buildings are going to be a problem for the real estate market? Marianne.
Look, I mean, Zoom calls, we'll have them for the rest of our lives. But the office market, yes, I think, businesses are going to have smaller footprints, but a lot of cities already are using that space for affordable housing. So I think we can tackle a bunch of problems here if we're really smart about it. And that's the point. We have a chance to reimagine a better way of living, and we should.
Eventually, it's going to come back around because people want to interact in person. Yeah. They work more efficiently in person. But for the next year, probably not.
Rob, you touched on something very interesting. And nobody went to the Patriots games this year, but in September, you think people might be concerned, all things being considered, if the vaccine works and there's a strong indication everything as well, you think people would be concerned to fill up Foxborough again, Gillette Stadium again?
I think it all comes down to the vaccination. I still doubt you're going to have full capacity next September in a football stadium.
Marianne, it's something that you miss, especially at a sports venue, with whatever's going on, the energy, the excitement, the contact of people, you miss that.
Yeah, and look, we love sports, love music, love concerts, love all of that, and love the interaction with people. That's the thing that's been missed, and I think people are going to try to resume as much as possible, but I think there's going to be a much different balance that people will strike between their personal lives and their work lives, the entertainment and how they consume it and not. And while people want to get back together, I think this is a great time for everybody to really rethink how the world looks, how our communities look, how we live our lives, and engage civically so we don't end up in this place again.
Are these things masks around, yes or no, for a year?
Yes.
Get used to get it monogrammed, Eddie.
Yes.
Get it monogrammed.